Hello, everyone. I am back again with another topic that is very important. And this is important not just for our community, it's important for probably everyone. And that is, I can't stand it. Yes, you can. Now, let me explain myself. First of all, one thing that really stuck with me, even in my worst moments, my absolute detrimental lowest of the low, where I would think to myself, I can't stand this almost all the time. But then I would, we would talk about it. I'm here. My track record's 100%. I've made it. I can stand it. I can stand it. And this is not easy to conceptualize in the beginning, especially when you're really suffering and your brain is really telling you all these crazy things. The intrusive thoughts are coming like wildfire. The anxiety's coming like a superstorm, and it's hard to see past that. This is why, and I'm always going to intertwine things. This is why talking about basically persistence and patience is so important in the OCD recovery journey. So when we look at the verbiage, I can't stand it, where does this come from? Where is this irrational belief stem from? Everywhere. Look around you. So I'll give you an example. I work at a restaurant, also part-time, and I always hear the people around me say, and it's fun now as I'm an observer, they'll say, so I can't stand it. I can't stand this patient, this person. I can't stand that the food comes out late. I can't stand waiting around. I can't stand that my coffee's late. I can't stand my dogs. I can't stand my kids. We have normalized I can't stand it in such a way to where it has absolutely no meaning. So people just say the words, I can't stand it, and then they put this subconscious thought in their mind that they can't stand it when they can. The reality is there are people on this planet, excuse me again, that go through very, very tough situations, really tough. Living in an iron lung, having Parkinson's disease, having severe cancer. I don't like to get, my dad had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He passed away 7 months after his diagnosis, but he stood it. He's kept working. He was a partner at a big law firm. He kept going. I mean, he was dying. He was withering away, literally dying in front of us. So it was an unfortunate thing, but he did it. He went on, just like we go on. So, even if you've been suffering with no correct help, or cognitive behavioral therapy, or uncertainty exposure response prevention, and you've been suffering for 35 years, something crazy, you still made it. You still stood it. Not saying you liked it. You didn't accept it. I mean, you didn't agree with it, and you didn't accept it, but you did. You stood it. When you look at that one particular thing of I can't stand it, you did stand it. And that is really, really, really important to talk about, because in order for us to go through something in life, we got to persist. And the reality is you can stand what you are going through, but you're not going to just automatically think you could stand it. Like all my other videos I've talked about, it's a graded response. And it's not like this, and it's not like this, and it's more like this. I said to you, ooh, boom, ooh, maybe backwards and up and down, blah, 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 all over the place, which eventually goes from where you are now to OCD recovery, which is up here. And all this in here is a crazy experience, but it's really cool, because no matter how bad it gets, you can stand it. Again, it doesn't mean you're going to like it. I don't like a lot of the symptoms I have. I don't like being hyper aware sometimes, but I can stand it. 100% can stand it. 100% can do anything I want. I hike, huge hiker. If ever seen any of you guys see me do 10,000 foot hikes and stuff like that. Love it. Exercise, all that stuff. I'm not saying it's easy, and I understand where you're coming from. I understand the difficulty of going through a situation like this when you might not have applied the correct tools yet, but you can stand it. And this is where disputing comes in. So let's talk a little bit about how to go about breaking down the I can't stand it, or I can't stand it itis, as Dr. Albert Ellis says. And just a quick little learning thing, itis, I-T-I-S, means inflammation of. So in doctoral terms, because I'm a chiropractor, so ology is the study of, so pathology is study of disease. So can't stand it itis is kind of funny because it's, the inflammatory process of I can't stand it. So it really is a funny play on words. A little quick learning lesson of the day there. But so when you say I can't stand it, let's use a very easy example. I can't stand being anxious. I can't stand it. Not going to do it. I'm out. I'm going home. I'm going to sleep. But you can. And you have been. Because I'm sure you've had moments where you were just as anxious, if not more anxious. But you got through them. You didn't like 1 second of it. You didn't accept it yet. That's okay. But you made it. And you're here. And that is so important. Because when we break stuff down like this over time, it really helps get us to a area where our perspectives are it's almost like you open up the floodgate and your perspectives start to shift into other areas of your life. We're not even just talking about OCD recovery here. We're talking about all aspects of life. Because you hear people stuff, like I said, I can't stand waiting in line for my coffee. I can't stand my dogs. I used to do it a lot because I got a puppy and it's going a little crazy. Eating all my stuff. Can't stand it, but I can. I can't stand it. My dogs aren't making me angry. I'm making me angry. My perspective is making me angry about the situation. So your perspective on your fear is the only reason why you believe you can't stand it. Let's say that again. Your perspective that you have is the only reason why you think you can't stand it. Let's take a moment to think about that. That's strong. That's real. And that's true. And that's what makes this whole situation so much more blown out of proportion than it really is, because you have convinced yourself deep down that you can no longer stand it. When you've stood many a potentially more distressing, whether it's physically, emotionally, moments in your life, but because that wasn't part of your OCD fear, you didn't even think about it. You didn't even bat an eye. So there's crazy things. I can't, like for me, I would say, I can't stand being anxious. I snapped my leg in half. It was backwards. Ow. But I stood it, and I never had that thought. Was it because I wasn't suffering chronically with OCD? Who knows? But I still stood it. So when you start to break things down and stuff becomes a little more funny, which is going to happen over time. And again, I'm fully understanding, and I'm very compassionate where you guys were. Who you are seeing right now is not who I was a year ago. I told you 11 months ago, I was in the mental hospital. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm saying this to you to give you hope. Hope is important. Hope is important for us to push us forward, to get to a place where we are in a community together. And this is really one of the biggest things about this OCD community. And, it's really, really, really important. And, just to go on to it again, the I can't stand it. It's everywhere. All our friends say it. Everyone we know says, I can't stand it. It's used so commonly that we don't even realize how much we can stand it. There aren't really many things in life, if not anything, a human has not endured before. That's why the book Man's Search for Meaning, Dr. Viktor Frankl, who spent 3 years in different concentration camps during the Holocaust, one of them being Auschwitz, he stood it 3 years. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. That is unbelievable, the power of human persistence. And it was a great book, also on the reading list. Tremendous read. But you can, again, I've said it now 100 times, but I can't get the point across. So let's wrap it up. A couple things. I like to review things. I think it helps. Also, pardon me being a chiropractor when I wrap up care plans with patients. So what did we talk about? Your perspective on the situation is the only reason you think you can't stand it. Because you can. No matter what. Crazy stuff you can stand. Being able to see that and then start to slowly break it down is important. Why do I think I can't stand it? Is there any evidence to say that I can't stand it? Is the evidence in my favor? More than likely not. Have other people stood this exact thing? Like for me, I can't stand being aware of my sensations. Okay, all the other 8 billion people on earth are salivating and swallowing and breathing and they can stand it. Why can't I stand it? It's because my perspective is telling me that I can't because of my fear. So this is how you begin to break things down. Again, thank you so much for listening. Leave a comment below if you want. I'm always down to talk. And have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for listening.